Hi folks, today we're going to have a look at the Thru Nite TC20. A reasonably compact, handy little torch, but not within what is classed as being the everyday carry or EDC category. And the EDC category is typified by a relatively constant diameter down the torch itself, running from one single 18650 battery. And looking at the Thru Nite, we can see it's quite considerably larger than anything that could be considered within the EDC category. And the reason for that is that the Thru Nite runs off a 26650 battery. And the advantage of running from a 26650 is you're going to get enhanced run times. The capacity of these batteries is a lot higher than your average 18650. And this Thru Nite, it does come with its own, supplied by the manufacturer. Very, very decent 5000 milliamp hour battery. Everything from Thru Nite I've tested has been absolutely fantastic. I'll put these into a battery diagnostic tool, test for resistance and its capacity, and they are as stated. Pop that back on. Another feature of this Thru Nite is you've got an inbuilt USB charger tucked on the side there, so you don't need to invest in a separate charger for this particular torch, which is quite handy. So a quick look at the specifications. We can see it comes with a rather impressive CREE XHP 70.2 second generation, or 70.B. That's one of the brightest commercially available CREE LEDs at this moment in time. 26650 battery as mentioned, and an orange peel reflector. Now the orange peel reflector, what that's referring to is that texturing that hopefully you can see on the lens itself, and what that tells us is that this flashlight isn't designed to throw a particularly long range or concentrated beam. That texturing will have the effect of scattering the beam to make it a little bit more of a balanced or floody type, which we'll have a look a little bit later when it's dark. The outputs are a rather staggering 3800 lumens on turbo mode, which runs for 130 minutes. High mode 1800 lumens for 145 minutes. Medium 320 lumens for 10 hours. Low 38 lumens for 46 hours. I generally don't bother with the Firefly, running for 37 days. I mean, 0.5 lumens, it's next to nothing, but it's there. And Strobe will run for 180 minutes. It has a candela of 25580, which in English means that equates to a throw distance of approximately 320 meters. It's impact resistant to 1.5 meters and IPX rated, and it comes with various accessories and nicely boxed when it came. It comes with a holster, some spare O-rings, a lanyard, the batteries you've seen, the USB charging cord, a spare USB plug and a spare side switch. Now, if I may just quickly digress at this moment in time, I'm not intending to do this on every video. I'll just reach across there and grab them. It is to digress onto 2 points, and as mentioned, I'm not going to do this in every video. I'm only going to do it in this one. The IPX8, as the Thru Nite says, is the IP rating, and the IP rating has 2 digits. So the first digit refers to intrusion protection. So you might see IP2, for example. Now, if they put an X rating, they're saying that this rating isn't relevant, as they've done on the Thru Nite. So IPX8 means we forget the first rating, intrusion protection, and we're jumping straight to the moisture protection. And the IPX8, which we can go down and look, protection against full immersion for up to 30 meters at depths between 15 centimeters and 1 meter. And a limited ingress is required, is allowed so long as there's no harmful effects. In English, that means it's waterproof. The other thing that I'll briefly mention, again, which I'm not going to do in every video, so apologise for this one-off digression, is the temperature, Kelvin or colour scale. Now, some manufacturers will actually give you the figure somewhere in between 2,000 and 6,500. And what they're referring to is the apparent colour of the beam, the temperature, or the Kelvin scale, whichever we want to call it. So your normal household bulbs, in the older style incandescent bulbs, they'll be quite an orangey light, somewhere around you know, the 2,000 to 3,000 K mark. Most of your LEDs are getting more towards this whitish type area, 4,500, moving up to, I think they've over exaggerated it on this chart, and it's not quite that blue, but that's the direction in which it's heading. Some manufacturers will actually list the exact number. Some, as Thru Nite do and have done with this particular model, it's offered in both a neutral white and a cool white version. So when you see those terms mentioned, neutral white, cool white, or NWCW, it's basically telling you whereabouts on this colour scale that the torch falls in. And they normally don't, as I mentioned, give the number. So this particular one that we'll be looking at shortly is a neutral white. So it's falling somewhere around here on the colour scale. They do the cool white version, which will land up there. And it's a matter of preference as to which one you actually prefer. So apologies for that digression. We won't be doing that again on other videos. So in terms of the operation of the torch, it's pretty straightforward. You've got one click on, one click off. One click on, one click off. It will remember the mode in which it was last on. So apart from turbo and strobe. So the one click on, and you hold the button, and it will cycle through the modes: low, medium and high. If I want turbo from any position, I double click and turbo mode will come on. If I want strobe, I repeatedly press. And those are the only modes really that I'm particularly interested in. If you want to prevent an accidental activation in your pocket, you just twist the tail cap ever so slightly. Beg your pardon. There, not the tail cap, just there. And that will prevent the light from coming on. It did throw me when I first had this one. It's normally the tail cap that you twist, and I'm like, oh, what's happening here? It won't go off. But no, it's just there. And I have seen some of the reviews where users are saying that there's no what they call hard lockout because they're twisting the tail cap. No, it's just up the top there. Okay, so we'll take it out and see what it can do. So we're out with the Thru Nite now, the TC20. We're starting on low. A usable amount of light for close range work. It's certainly not overpowering. Doesn't do anything on the distance wise. So if we pop it up to medium, you can see that's significantly better in terms of its output. Still not high enough for my taste, so we'll bump it up to high. That is a lot more like it. Those trees there, they're 30 meters, something like that. Moving more towards sort of 80 meters. If you put it to turbo, 3,800 lumens. That's really impressive. Really impressive. And we're getting out there towards 100 meters now, with a lovely floody beam. But we'll see how it fares after a little bit of use. So I'll stop recording this moment and I'll use it for a little while and we'll come back to it. Okay, so I've been walking now half a mile, something like that, alternating between high and turbo. The high mode, which we're on now, 1800 lumens. As you can see, it's putting out a rather impressive amount of light. It's running warm, certainly not hot, and it's holding that generally warm feeling, and it's holding its power very well. Excuse me. And that's something I particularly like about the Thru Nite. There's certainly torches out there that put out more power, but they'll run for 30 seconds, 60 seconds, and then they'll start to step down and they lose the power, or alternatively the battery capacity isn't enough. That's not the case with this Thru Nite. I mean, I tend to run them, my torches on at least high, if not turbo if I can. As you can see, I'm out walking the dogs. Something that's going to go flat on me in 20 minutes isn't much use at all. And I do like plenty of light. I mean, if these puppies run off somewhere, they've certainly got a way to run before I lose sight of them. I'll show you turbo in a moment, and I have been using turbo as well. That didn't step down, but it was getting warm towards hot, which you'd expect. And I've just flicked over to turbo now, and I can assure you it's actually a lot brighter to my eye than it is on the recording. And that's all the way across the lake there. You know, we're well over 100 meters, no problem at all. One of the problems that I found with the CREE XHP 70s, 70.2s, is they get very hot, and you're lucky to find a torch that will use that and still retain a reasonable runtime and not run ridiculously hot. And this Thru Nite's absolutely perfect. I mean, I'll be out here for quite some time now walking these pups. A little bit of a light freak, as you can see. I like to have things lit up, and it's certainly doing that. And it's on turbo at the moment. It's holding the turbo. Really pleased with it. I'll just give you a quick comparison about some of the modes as well. So there we are on low mode. Okay. Medium. Oh, let me cycle through. High. And to be honest, the high at 1800 lumens, that's pretty good, and that wasn't getting hot. At best it was just getting a little bit warm. And then turbo. And it'll be time to get these girls home now and get them some supper. But overall, really pleased with this particular torch. Perfect for the use I've got it now, dog walking. With a 2-hour runtime. What did he say? It was 135 minutes, wasn't it? On turbo, and a little bit more on high. Yeah, really impressive. Okay guys, I'll carry on, thanks. Just nearly back at the car, and I thought I'm not going to do this on every video either, but I just thought I'd give you an example of the 1.5 meter drop test. So let's hope it doesn't go off and I can find it later. Bear with me. There we go. Fast forward a little bit. Yeah, I still think that's working absolutely fine. Yep, no problem at all. Give me another go, twice for good luck, eh? Bear with me again. I'll throw this one as hard as far as I can now. I think you get the gist. Can you see the steam? You'll see the steam coming off here in a minute on the oh no, you can't do, the camera doesn't pick it up. But yeah, I don't know about 1.5 meters. That was as far as I could throw it. Thanks guys.